the alligator-infested swamps in Frog City, Florida. It's Dr. Deadsoil's creepy house of prop building. And now, the guy who taught King Kong how to pick up women. Your host, Dr. Deadsoil.
So you tuned into the doctor, 'cause you're looking to create a tombstone on the tape. Well, you're probably stinking there thinking, Dr. Deadsoil, this can only be done by blasting, mining, and chiseling. I'm laughing because my method is fast and cheap. And what I'm about to show you, you might say, oh, this is too hard. It's not hard. It's easy. In fact, it's so easy, your neighbor's cat could do it. Now I'm gonna head out back to the tool shed and show you how you can do this for yourself. But first, tell them what they'll need, Carmichael.
Now, viewers, it's time to get out your pens and pencils and write down the special items you'll need to perform Dr. Deadsoil's method for creating tombstones. Number 1, 4 1-inch by 6-inch by 6-foot pressure-treated pine-wood dog-eared fence pickets. Number 2, a small box of 1 1/4-inch galvanized screws. Number 3, a 4-pack of 1 1/4-inch double-hole conduit straps. Number 4, 3 individual rods of 3/8-inch by 2-foot rebar. The tools you'll need for this project include a tape measure, a jigsaw, a power drill, a hammer, a speed square or some type of straight edge. That's it! Now back to you, Dr. Deadsoil.
Now that you have all your supplies, start with your first wood plank. You'll notice there's a dog-eared cut. Flip your board because we're going to be making our first measurements starting at the straight end and working our way up. Your first measurement will be at 30 inches. I'm using a speed square to make my straight line for my cut. Now, just move your board so that the straight line is about 1 inch off your cutting surface. I'm using quick clamps to help me hold my board in place. This is not necessary if you have somebody helping you to hold the board, or if you feel comfortable enough holding it yourself. I use these clamps for extra safety. Jigsaw. Now, grab your tape measure and continue up this board and mark off another 30 inches. you should have your two 30-inch straight cuts and roughly this 12-inch dog-eared cut. From this piece, we're gonna measure down from the dog-eared side down 6.5 inches and make your cut. When finished, you'll have a 6.5-inch dog-eared cut, a 5.5-inch straight cut, and your two 30-inch straight cuts. Your second board will be cut exactly the same way. Two 30-inch straight cuts, a 6.5-inch dog-eared cut, and a 5.5-inch straight cut. Your third board will be slightly different. You will have two 30-inch straight cuts, but this time your 12-inch dog-eared piece, leave it as is. Do not cut it. Now, with your fourth and final board, make sure you flip your dog-eared side because all these cuts will be measured from the straight opposite end. The first cut will be 10 inches. Your second cut will be 10 inches. Your third cut will be 10 inches. Your fourth and final cut, you guessed it, at 10 inches. After those cuts, you'll have roughly a 31.5-inch dog-eared board, along with your 1, 2, 3, 4 10-inch straight cut boards. Grab your tape measure. We need to mark the center at 5 inches on all these 10-inch boards that we just cut. Very important. Don't cut these boards. These center marks that we're making are just guides which will help us during the build. Grab one of your 30-inch boards, which you would like to use for the center of your tombstone. The side you want showing, place that face down. Grab your tape measure and make a mark 5.5 inches down. Now, because these next measurements are short, I'm going to use my speed square instead of my tape measure. My board is 5.5 inches wide. So I'm going to make a center mark at 2 3/4 inches. Now turn this board around and make the exact same measurements on the opposite end, marking down 5.5 inches and mark your center point, which is on my board at 2 3/4 inches. Grab another 30-inch board, again the side you want showing, place that face down. Grab one more 30-inch board and place that on the other side. Again, the side you want showing, you want to place face down on your table. Grab one of your 10-inch straight cut boards and using that center mark, line it up with the center mark you made on your 30-inch board. Using your 1 1/4 inch coarse screws, place a screw about 1 inch from the side and 1 inch up from the bottom. Add another screw about 1 inch from the side and 1 inch down from the top. Repeat this on the other board so that you can lock these two boards into place. Repeat the same process on the other side in order to tie these 3 boards together. Once you have this board mounted, turn your tombstone around. Grab another 10-inch straight cut. Use your mark to center this board in place. Mount this board just like you did on the other side. When you're finished mounting all these boards together, just move this to the side. Now, off camera, I took my last 3 30-inch straight cuts and my last 2 10-inch straight cuts and duplicated the same process just like I did here. Let's put these aside for a minute. Grab your 31.5-inch dog-eared board. We need to make a measurement down from the dog-eared side. I'm using my speed square because this is going to be a short measurement. Measure down from the top 5.5 inches. Mark your line, and on my board, because it's 5.5 inches wide, I'm putting a center mark at 2 3/4 inches. Grab both of your 6.5-inch dog-eared cuts. Line them up with your marked line so that they are both level to form a perfect cross. Next, grab your 2 5.5-inch cuts. Make sure the grain is running in the same direction as your 6.5-inch cuts underneath. Place these boards just off center from your center mark. Now, just tie these boards together. check your board underneath just to make sure it doesn't shift. Again, make sure your wood grain is running in the same direction as your 6.5-inch cut. Remember, don't forget to check to make sure that your board underneath hasn't shifted. Ooh, that's perfect. Now, rotate your cross. Grab your final 12-inch dog-eared cut. Make sure you line up your straight edge with the bottom of your cross. Then, just tie both these boards together using 4 screws. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Feast your eyes on this. Let's finish up these tombstones. If your back is showing, flip your tombstone to reveal the front. There are many different shapes of tombstones. I'm going to show you 2 easy ones. First one, just using my speed square. From the left edge, I'm going to mark down 3 inches. Then turn my speed square to line it up with the first plank corner and draw a line. I'm going to repeat this on the other side. Mark down 3 inches from the corner of that same plank. Turn your speed square to mark your line. Once you remove these areas, this will give you what I call a coffin top style. Also, don't worry so much if you're a little off your mark when you're cutting. Any little defects like that will only add to your look. Now, grab your other tombstone and make sure the face side is facing up. For this one, we're going to do a traditional round over top. We need to know how wide our tombstone is in order to mark our center point. My tombstone is 17 inches wide, so my center point would be at 8.5 inches. I need to add a 1/2 inch to that, which will tell me I need to come down a total of 9 inches. I'm using the edges of my center board and marking down on both sides 9 inches. Now, using my tape measure across those marks, I'm gonna place my center point at exactly 8.5 inches. On this next step, you could use a small nail, a thumbtack. I'm using a push pin. Just mush that directly into your center point. Now I'm using a non-stretchy yarn that I tied a loop in. You could also use any type of strong thread. Just loop that around. Then start wrapping it around your pencil. Keeping your line taut, start unwrapping your pencil until it reaches the edge. Now you can do a couple of test runs, keeping your line tight, making sure your pencil stays within the boundaries of the wood, using your 2 marks as a guide for your start point and your end point. Once you're comfortable, go ahead and make your mark. It's okay if it's not perfect. I'm just darkening this line so that it'll be easier for me to cut when I use my jigsaw. If you wish to put an epitaph on your tombstone, I'm going to show you how to do it easy, fast, and cheap. First, print out whatever design you wish on a sheet of paper. Using some masking tape, tape down one side to form a hinge. Grab a sheet of carbon paper, and if you don't know what that is, ask your mother and father, children. Just place the dark side down. Now, just grab your pencil and trace out your outline of your design, allowing the carbon paper to transfer it to the wood. When you're finished, lift up both papers and make sure all areas of your design has been transferred. If so, just go ahead and remove your papers. Using a small paintbrush and a cheap sample of paint from your home improvement store, I'm using flat black. Just do like they said in grade school. Keep inside the lines. Keep inside the lines. Keep inside the lines. Now that you're all finished with that, just put this tombstone to the side and allow it to dry. Now my other tombstone will show you that you don't have to have just lettering. I printed this creepy clip art, centered it, taped it down on one side, and using my same sheet of carbon paper from before, and transferring this image to the wood using my pencil. Checking to make sure all my areas are transferred before I remove my papers. Using my black paint and my small brush, keep inside the lines. You know what? I didn't stay inside all the lines, and it still looks creepy. Once your paint is dry, turn your tombstone over so that the backside is facing up. Next, grab your 2-hole metal conduit straps. Using your center mark on your lower 10-inch board, place your strap towards the top. Then, just using your 1 1/4-inch screws, go ahead and mount that strap. For your cross, make sure the backside is facing up. Grab another strap, just eyeballing it this time. Place your strap in the center towards the top of your 12-inch dog-eared cut. Now for the final step. Grab one of your 3/8 by 2 foot rebar. Find a safe place and using your hammer, drive it straight into the ground about 10 inches, give or take. Then grab one of your tombstones and just slide it down over the top. Tell him, Carmichael.
That's it! Another great job, Dr. Deadsoil!
Just check out these tombstones. You can see these would certainly creep out any night walker that happens to be strolling through your personal cemetery. Think about it. In just over an hour, I created these 3 tombstones, which are perfectly designed for the outdoors. You can place them in the sun, in the rain, in the snow. It doesn't matter. They're cheap! But they're very strong. Because they're made out of wood, they can last 15 or 20 years. In fact, the more abuse they get, the creepier they'll look. Why, you could build a whole... what? The bell has tolled. That means it's time for you to get out of my house. But before you go, I always like to leave my sessions on a happy note, so please welcome my guest, Jim Oyster.
Jim Oyster, paging Jim Oyster, your number is up.
Rosemary had a baby, she hides behind a wall to protect it from the pup. It's 90 feet tall. Dad's not in the picture, he's on the other side of town. The judge's court order won't let him come around. She's looking for a lover to help her raise her kid, but there ain't no takers to lift that heavy lid. Malcolm's in a prison, serving 25 to life for taking revenge on the man who killed his wife. That killer had a record that was 30 miles long, but the jury decided what Malcolm did was wrong. Now he lives in his cell, cursing the Lord, 'cause an eye for an eye is not the legal word. Rodrigo crossed the river to find the promised land. The only thing he knows is to work with his hands. 14 hours, 7 days a week in that hot Texas sun. He works dirt cheap. He may be illegal and despised by some, but then no one would ever work in it. I Texas sun. Melissa took a tumble. She fell into a well. It all got dark. It all went to hell. She ran into the devil. He said everything was fine. You're not the first person to lose their mind, but don't you dare take your life, 'cause if you do, I'm gonna make you my wife. For some life's a bitch, for others it's a beach. Some have wealth, for most it's out of reach. You can pay your taxes and work real hard, wash your car, cut your yard. It's a cold, cruel world with no guarantees. You never know when life will bring you down to your knees.